SFL. Say hello, Will or Rob. Not Will today.
It's your boy March Law. I'm over here with the geezer, just out here just ripping on the league. We had to start filming because we were already ripping on the league
Yeah,
early.
I
My
had
dog.
pulled up the good old power rankings here, and you're already going to town before I had even pressed record.
I mean, sometimes you just look at Kyle Daly's team and you just start just shitting on it. Like you can't help it. Like if you're a hater, you look at it and you're like, I gotta hate. I gotta hate immediately. I can't stop hating. So I got that out of my system. I'm ready to go. Well, it's not out of my system, and we're gonna keep shitting on Kyle. Let's be real.
All right. So here we go. We haven't looked at these power rankings in a very long time, so I'm gonna get it nice and big for y'all. Yeah, as you were saying, it's pretty obvious. There's one dog shit team in the league, and that's Kyle.
But I was sitting there losing my shit because despite how bad Kyle is and his performance, Ari with a 25-19 against the rest of the lower playoff odds. Benito.
There's no, dude. I refuse to believe that. I think he wins his division, dude. I don't know why they hate him so much.
0-4. Gary has better playoff odds than Ari. And it
uh,
is incredible. But I do have to say, like, so apparently, sometimes I bring it up in the house that I'm just out here, just shit talking and everything. And my wife, actually, Kelsey, was just like, "Well, how's free real estate doing?" And I'm just glad that she just knows that there's one person that I consider free real estate, and that I gotta let her know I beat him this week. I didn't let him know didn't let her know that it was lucky, but it was still an absolute wonderful W. And I just knew that it was a crushing loss for Ari. And it's beautiful.
oh my goodness. Well, let's look at everybody here. I think Truck's stop Glory Hole with the number one rest of season roster. I think that might be right. His team is really good. Uh, Dehas has been dominating on the early, but I think for the long run, for the best team, I think Jordan might actually end up having the best team.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Guys, I mean, dude, he just went so wide receiver heavy. This is a very wide receiver friendly league. And he just kept getting obnoxious value after obnoxious
yeah,
value.
crazy good value. He got
But
amazing values.
let's address the elephant in the room. His team would be fucking cheeks if Sam Darnold didn't have legit MVP aspirations right now.
That
Like,
is true.
yeah, we were straight dogging the dude because he was going Darnold, and I think we gaslit Will out of whatever his strategy was because we were shitting on him. Like, he's gonna come to us with Sam Darnold talking really great, and
Yeah.
he would have this year. He, like his Josh Dobbs moment.
Uh, like I actually had three quarterbacks that I really liked coming into the year that I really wanted was Stafford, which you guys shit on me, rightfully so. And then it was Baker and Sam Darnold. Those were the three. I wanted those three QBs going into the league, and unfortunately, I did not have the money to bid on Darnold by the time we got down to that spot, so I wasn't able to get Darnold as well. Um, but it feels good to be right on two out of the three guys that I liked a lot.
Yeah.
We don't know how long this will last, but I think it will. I think these quarterbacks are set up for the long run.
Baker
Um,
looks good. Like, I mean, he's gonna have his Baker games where he's just gonna have put up a stinker, but he's also like legit putting up 30, 40 points in other weeks too.
yeah.
Like
Um,
I'll take the highs and lows. Like you could have Gardner Minshew like me, who's just got the lows with the mids, which is thank God I absolutely knocked it out of the park with Jaden Daniels, else I would be probably in trouble.
uh, let's go keep back on right on here. The big surprise this year has to be Cream Pie Cupcake. Everyone thought he was shit. Did you think he was going to be this bad, or going to be bad, or good this year? Did you have an
Oh,
opinion?
Well, when we initially looked, like, the hindsight's 2020. Like, no one thought Will would have drafted the best team in the league and then just traded away for bullshit. But go
Still doing
back
all
and
right.
look. Now you're like looking at him with Lamar, Jordan Love, Ramondre, Najee Harris. Can't believe he's starting Jerome Ford, Jaden Reed, Deontay. Now it looks like a renaissance pick. Like Jaden Reed looks incredible with Love. Like, what a good stack. I mean, he stacked Flowers with Jackson, which is looking like a terrible idea at this point. And he got Brock Bowers late. Like the dude's got value all over the place. Picked up Andy Dalton, has Braylon Allen, Joe Mixon, Javante, Keon Coleman. Likely is a trap. So thank God he drafted Bowers. Like, homie, like this is not a bad team. Like, this is like, and he's
No.
even got like some handcuffs. He's got good quality on his bench. Like, it was easy to shit on him because before the season started, but like, dude, it's not the softest roster in the league. Let me tell you that.
Yeah, no, and he's rated number 2 team for the season. I don't know if I agree exactly with number 2, but it's still pretty strong. Let's go ahead and get into last week's games. I'm gonna go ahead and start with mine. This is my game against or the person we were just talking about, Victor. I got cream pied. There's nothing I could have done. He only had 3 touchdowns. It's really hard to win when you only have 3 touchdowns. Baker was the only one that did it. I had, Amari Cooper had a 50-yard touchdown called back for a dumbass
It
penalty.
was 80 yards.
Uh, Barkley, was wide open for another 50-yard touchdown, but Hurts threw it out of bounds because he sucks balls and is a terrible quarterback.
Two, Mr. Tier 2.
Yeah,
No,
tier
Tier
two
3.
keelback that can't
I
pass the
think he's
ball.
Tier 3.
Yeah, I think it's just a little bit of Eagles fans delusion there. But yeah, let's give him his dues. Victor got me good there. Um, this game was amazing. Your game versus Adi, 182 to 178, barely scraping by a win. And man, and you didn't even start the right guys.
Wow, yeah, yeah, and at the end, let's we'll go over the positional stuff because you'll find out my optimum is the top of the league. I'm just shitting my
Yeah.
pants week in and week out.
Wow. Like what is going on? Uh, yeah,
Yeah,
and there's nothing Ariel could have done either. He was gonna lose no matter what.
like even his optimum would have still lost to me. Like even at 181.1 with my 182.25, like he would have still lost even if he got what was it, Kelsey in there over Goddard. Like he would have still lost.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
because his flex got 27-1. Chuba Hubbard absolutely clapping me there. And then watching Trey Tucker more than double the points of Gardner Minshew was so painful. I'm sitting there wanting to just claw my eyes out watching this. I'm like, I am gonna get free real estated. And oh God.
barely
I feel
escaped.
well, I told everyone his magic was on Sunday, his birthday, and it wore off on Monday. And it was very evident, we watched it, but I almost got done in by two garbage time safeties of all things. Because Huntley got the ball back off of like a safety and ended up like throwing for some more points, but like he got that garbage time touchdown that which should have went to Achan, and which made me lose in my other league, by the way, and I almost lost in my league do it for this. It was truly a miserable moment. Like, dude, he didn't really have anyone have a bad week, and he's actually looking stronger in the future because Kelsey looks like he's going to be better. So
Yeah, yeah, no more Rice. They're gonna have to throw the ball to Kelsey again. So he's got Goddard and Kelsey. I'm wondering if anybody's gonna offer him a trade offer because tight end's not been a good spot this year. So uh,
and Tyreek Hill, despite like a very like terrible stat line, like him and like I would have lost if he would have caught that like 70-yard touchdown or like basically if Huntley didn't overthrow him, I would have lost.
yeah,
Yeah, like that was the one play. So
I mean,
Still tough to start, but they do not look good. But they had his moments.
It was a 4-point win, so there's a lot of way you could have lost that one.
Oh yeah.
Magic Skull Bus. Next game here, Magic Skull Bus versus House of Priapism. The commish had a monster week, 215 points. Uh,
Getting run
and yeah, Gary
third.
keeps on starting
It,
Caleb Williams. You know, had he just started Jared Goff. Oh man,
he Gary deserves everything happening to him. Actually, his optimum would have beat uh,
would have beat him if it was Optum, yeah. But that uh, that
5.5.
that would have required starting Swift. But look at the Swift stat line. Week 1, 6 points. Week 2, 6.2. Week 3, 6.2. Week 4, 31. Does this make sense? 6, 6, 6, 31. He just straight up
Yeah.
went devil on us, and then came up with the 31 on the following week.
Oh, how did you not start golf? Like, how are you starting Daniel Jones over golf?
I think Daniel Jones had a good week last week, which like lulled everybody. Yeah, he had a 30-point week 2 and a 30-point week 3. Lulled us into a sense of security. So yeah, I think that's what ended up happening there. The one that I don't understand is the Caleb Williams is like 10 points, 11 points, and then week 3 is 32, and you're like, oh, there's a
He's back,
32
baby.
point. He's back. He's here. No, he's not.
He's
He
like, I
sucks.
got my bear stack.
He sucks. Yeah, Gary's having a rough time, man. It's just a rough time. The next game we're gonna go here, D Haas versus Razor's Edge. D Haas whooped his ass. Human with only 137 points did worse than me. Not many teams did worse than me this week. He was one of them.
Human's just getting his first season cheek spreading in this league.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like he's having some moments. He's really getting bailed out. Justin Fields and a few other like good, like decent performances in the other weeks, but like he's legitimately, oh man, this thing's all blurry. He's legitimately having some real up and downs. Multiple players on his roster like putting up negative points. Like, ooh, buddy, that's tough. Huh. I was trying to figure out why this thing can't focus.
Uh-oh.
It's not like you need to see my mug anyways. There we go. That'll work.
My dog won't stop licking either.
But
Like just won't
hey,
stop
let's be
licking.
real.
Stop.
Team's good, and he knows it. He somehow turned into a bigger villain than I am.
Oh my god, yeah. I don't know what is going on. Something just clicked for him this year.
It's just one of those things. He's like, I've been a generational hater. I've been in this league, but it's nice to see someone else out here coming out here just looking to get just as much hate and bile out there as I am. And, because I'll still never forget, I think it was a year or two ago, Kyle said there's nothing worse than Martian Law having a good team. Because I was out there just shitting on him. And the thing is Kyle's got multiple trophies. So it's not
Yeah, he
like
does.
he's been like some sort of schlub. He is this year, he's a schlub. But the other years, he's been incredible. But, it's like he's forgotten how to rename it, stop getting his team named by other people.
Yeah, I don't know what happened. He used to be good at fantasy football, and now he sucks. I don't know what
But
happened, Kyle, but
yeah, I do love watching D Haas having his quarterback take out one of his top receivers.
it seems to be not as bad as everybody thinks. Like maybe Rashee Rice does end up coming back, so who
Yeah,
knows?
but like, what is coming back? Is coming back, in time for the play, or coming back in time for fantasy? There's a difference.
I think it's like they're expecting like 4 or 5 weeks or something. It's like
Yeah.
ended up being a bone bruise, like nothing actually tore.
Okay. Well, fortunately, I mean, I guess fortunate for the dude. I mean, after his felonies this off season,
I know, right?
that he doesn't get punished for this year. He'll get it next year.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, I mean, clear spanking. I don't know what Homan does here. Like, I mean, you look at his team: Mostert, Levis, Foreman, Zamir White, Pacheco.
it's funny. Like there was that whole debate about Kareem Hunt, and then like nobody ended up picking up Hunt, and he paid for Carson Steele instead, and now Carson Steele sucks, and now Hunt is actually the guy. Like to me, that is like the greatest thing. But enough shitting on Human. Let's go on to the next game. Midnight Ride versus Elderly Gangbang.
Tyler Jason.
We got Midnight Ride beating Holden here, 171 to 128. Holden had a rough week, 128, and his optimum wasn't that much better. So his bench sucked, his starter sucked.
Everything about him was just bad. Oh, it's because he keeps rostering uh, Aiden AOC and Drake May. I mean, I get Drake May because it looks like, Brissett's on the cusp. But, like, that's still five quarterbacks, man. And
Yeah,
then two of them aren't even starters. And it feels like you got with Drake May eventually taking the reins, like you got the ability to flip one of your quarterbacks for value. I would stop rostering AOC, but it's one of those things that he can do what he wants to do. But the problem is he's been offering, was it Sanders, Ridley, Jamal Williams, and Adonai Mitchell for Terry McLaurin and Justin Jefferson.
yeah.
That's what his offer to me. Like it's so generous of him.
He's trying to fix his team. All the players on his team that were supposed to be studs are pumpkins, right? Like Aaron Rodgers was supposed to be a stud at quarterback. He's been pretty
He's
mid.
up and down. He's up and down.
Uh, he's mid. He's like nothing special. Brees Hall was supposed to be like this guy, and I was like getting
Dobbins is
20 points, but like look at this, averaging 3 yards a carry, averaging 2 yards a carry. If it wasn't for his receptions, Brees Hall wouldn't be that good.
Marvin Harrison had 1 week, but he's been underwhelming. Olave underwhelming. Wilson underwhelming. Dobbins had a bad week, but Dobbins has been really good all year, and I'd actually like him rest of the season. So like I'm not gonna, fault a running back for having a bad week. Gibbs is good. Hall really let him down. Carr is coming back down to earth. And Dalton Schultz, like I offered him McBride for Rodgers, he declined it immediately, and I'm like, okay, well, keep riding with Dalton Schultz, buddy, because he's
Yeah.
gonna get dick for targets on that team.
I think that the problem is just like he has some good players, but the players he was expecting to be like super great just aren't that reliable. They haven't been great all the time like you want them to be.
And he's really delusional about probably Hawkinson coming back. He's gonna take some time to warm up.
Maybe.
But we do gotta address the elephant in the room. Will Hicks, 4-0.
Yeah.
Good looking roster. Even, still pulled out
Yep.
the win, even with a bad Josh Allen week. Pollard looking better. Kyron looking good. Juwan Jennings looking kind of like who we expected he is. But you got to ride it. You got to ride the hot hand, because there's still injuries going on with that team. And plus, it's kind of like a stack with Purdy, after he benched him for his 50-point week. Uh,
It would have been
uh,
so good if Jennings had like a 5 point week this week. I would have loved that so much.
I mean, he does have Kittle. His bench, man, could you imagine what that bench looks like without his trades?
Dude, if I had his
That
trades, his team would be so good.
team would be 4-0, and I'd just be sitting there like, how do we really beat this dude other than a bad week? But like, it's a great team. He's still doing good. He's clearly on top of the division. He's probably going to make the playoffs.
Yep.
He's a good player. He's good at fantasy football. It's
I
just a
don't
matter.
know. Is he a good player? He keeps on like doing these trades that just absolute shit on his team.
He's a great drafter, and he puts himself in a position to win. The problem is he can't help himself from just trade raping himself out of the league. He's just like, I just want to get renamed.
Okay, and then like the real dumpster fire of a game, truck stop glory hole almost doubled. All hail Washington Commanders for the last week, 201 to 106. Yeah, we've said it already. Kyle's team is just not good. Achan is sucking because without Tua, everyone in Miami sucks. Trevor Lawrence just sucks in general.
Oh,
Richardson just sucks in general. I don't care
oh,
that he got hurt. He's just a bad player.
Singleton, London, Shakir. JSN, Zach Moss. He can't stop starting Andrews because he spent too much money. Dog love his pride, but like Mark Andrews' total season points, I don't think are even the equivalent of like one of McBride's games.
Take everything I said about Holden's team and just put that on Kyle's team as well.
It just you don't really want to hate on Kyle's team too much because it's like shooting fish in a barrel at this point. Like it's just like rubbing your nuts on the person that's passed out. This is an absolute dog shit caliber team. Like Kyle's going for the league record in renames in a row. Is this going to be 3 or 4 renames? 3, right?
Might be 3, yeah.
Unreal levels of renaming going on here. He's probably not going to watch this video, and he's definitely got chat muted. And
Yeah,
I
he
can feel
does. He's mad. We've got him super salty. Uh, and I can't blame
ah,
him.
it's you, Kyle. You did this to yourself. This is the dog shit team you chose.
Let's. I'm gonna go over and look at the leaders now. We were talking about this earlier. So who's got? See, the rough part is looking at QBs because it's not put together the QB and the super flex. So like I have the worst starting number one QB, but the best super flex QB. So I'm probably somewhere in the middle. I'm not sure. This one's a little bit harder to look.
Thanks, Jaden Daniels. You're making me look better than I am because my superflex from Kyle.
Yeah, yeah, like you're the opposite of me. Like, you have a really shit super flex and a really good one QB.
Oh yeah. Oh
Uh,
yeah.
and
It's not it's Gee, and then what about Gary? Is Gary just like riding the bottom of both?
yeah, Gary is definitely the shittiest quarterback team in the league. No doubt about it. It's well, Kyle. Kyle is really bad too. Gary and Kyle are both shit.
But we're just gonna expect Kyle's at the bottom of every category.
Let's see. Let's At running back, you're dominating. I, you know, my whole draft strategy would be to be dominating this stat line here, but unfortunately, CMC is
Yeah.
not here. And then I trade for a
Um,
running back that turns into a pumpkin like the week that it gets traded for. It's amazing.
and on
Uh,
top of that, CMC, like a third of your budget just absolutely vaporized.
I know, so rough. But you're definitely crushing everyone. And the running back stat just absolutely destroying. The Alvin Kamara Derrick Henry stack is
2019, so who said that to me? Was it Kyle or someone else? 2019, they want their running backs back.
yeah.
And then it's like, well, thank God that 2019 is still reigning supreme here in 2014, 5 years later.
It is crazy how much farther ahead you are of everyone else. Like everyone else is like pretty close to each other, but you're like 70 points ahead of second place. It's crazy. Uh
Yeah, it's the reason I'm somehow 2-2 instead of like 0-4 or 1-3.
Yeah. And then we're looking at wide receivers. D Haas
Dude,
and Jordan are dominating everybody at the top. Uh,
and I'm down there with Kyle
you're
Daly.
you're you're down at the Kyle Daly.
Receiver on the year, and I'm still absolute cheeks.
Oh man. Yeah, but everybody's pretty close at wide receiver, like near the top, and then we definitely have a tier here at the bottom.
Just like falling off the face of the earth. And it's me, Will, and Kyle. Well, I guess you're kind of grouped with.
And looking at the tight ends, like this just shows how shit the tight ends are this year. Like it's so
Oh,
bad.
no, no, it's close to it, really 100 points. Like it's gonna be week 5, and then who does Gary have?
Gary has been correctly choosing between Cole Kmet and Hunter Henry every week. He's just choosing the right one. He's picking the one of them which one is gonna blow up this week. He picks that one. He does. They blow up, and then he is number one as a tight end.
He still may not crack 100 points. That's the insanity going on here. Like how bad, and remember the other years where tight end is just absolutely just a feast, gorging and everything. And this year it's just like, oof.
Yeah, last year, brought us so much hope that the tight ends like we would actually have some tight end players, but no, not this.
That was like me spending 33 on Trey McBride. It's not a great spend, but it's not the worst spend.
D Haas is crushing everybody on the flex. Uh, Ariel also has a good flex. Uh,
I am true. I'm
Oof,
below the
you're
level.
the last place in the flex spot.
Well, I use my flex for like the true flex. Like it's always gonna be the person who's playing the latest for me. So
Yeah,
it
yeah, yeah,
doesn't
yeah.
matter who it is. Like if they're playing Sunday night football, I'm gonna slide my wide
Mhm.
receiver, running back, or tight end. Whatever I'm gonna do, whatever my extra person is always gonna be the flex for me.
And looking at the optimum scores, you would actually be the number one scorer in the league if you just chose the players correctly.
Can't stop.
D Haas has been pretty good with a 92% pick rate. And he's got second place with that. The really interesting ones is Jordan's at 95% correct pick rate, and he's only fifth place. I did not know that he.
He's pretty
Wow.
much only got a specific set of players to play, and that's it.
Yeah.
There's no growing up. Like me and D Hops at least showed the
So he's so in
we still got
reality, he is second in real points scored, actual points scored, but his optimum is only fifth. So like
he's literally getting the most out of his roster.
he really
That
is.
shows it at 95%. Like that he's pretty much tapping every resource he has. But we can't let this one slide. Look at who the true baddie of this league is right now. Our new man, Human. Well, actually, then
Yeah, this is 87% is not awful, and he's in
and
last place. So the true
and you
worst team in the league, worse than Kyle.
do and you want to see who's truly down the baddest? Look at number 6, our 0-4 team.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
absolutely just getting
Yep,
run through on the weekly.
yep. I mean, Gary's team feels like my team last year, where I was putting up good points every single week, and I lost five in a row, and I was just like, what is going on? Maybe he makes the comeback.
Because he's eighth in actual points for, sixth in optimum, number one in points against. Like it is not an argument who's got the most points against him. It's clearly Gary, but he chose this. Remember, he chose who's in his division. He's
Yep,
played me, you, and Will, and
yep.
then Dylan. He just got Dylan. His team's a paper tiger. It's very much going to just rip your face off if he doesn't get injuries, or if Will lets him trade into depth and spreading his points around some. You fucking asshole! You want Dylan dead. And I remember draft night. Kyle was like, "Don't trade with King. Let him sit with his choices."
And he did trade with me, and it made my team worse.
Yeah.
Let's go on to the next week now. We got myself versus Truck Stop Glory Hole. I don't think we need to go over this. I'm gonna get steamrolled. I don't think I have a chance. Saquon
Hey,
Barkley's on
let
bye.
me look at it here. Let me just give you some false hope.
No, there's no
God.
false hope. Saquon Barkley's on bye. I'm I'm Dugsky, bro. This is it.
His team just doesn't look like anyone's. Brian Thomas Jr. So goddamn, dude, he still has Adams and Cup out. Oh man, he's got no one in his IR. Like, oh, they never put Cup on IR. That kind of screwed him.
I know, right?
Watson too. Hopkins. I guess Hopkins is on by. That's the lucky part for you. Yeah, and then Ingram like basically becoming a pumpkin on you too. That didn't help you. But
Yeah,
get
yeah.
him, get him, get him.
Leggett is looking good.
You're a man that cannot give up on Tutu Atwell.
He's doing well. I don't know what you're talking about. I
Oh
picked
yeah,
him
no,
up
no, Whittington. Yeah,
16,
no, no.
16, getting 16 points
And,
off of a waiver wire guy. Hey, that's not bad.
yeah, you're correct. I chose the wrong guy. And then Demarcus Robinson was apparently the wrong choice too. It was Whittington and Atwell, and I remember even cracking a joke about being like, "Watch Whittington be the dude," and then like now it's like him and Atwell at the same time.
Yep.
Yeah, you really need Mari Cooper to stop being a pumpkin. Literally 5'4", 9'31".
Yeah, but
And,
again,
like,
this last week was bullshit. He did have a 50-point touch, like a 50-yard touchdown called back for a penalty
it
that
was
wasn't
80,
even.
buddy. It wasn't even just 50. It was
It
80.
was
That's
80.
bad.
Fuck,
It was
man.
brutal. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah, you're
wait,
probably.
wait.
Oh yeah.
It looks like I just got a trade offer. What is this? Midnight Ride, Jerry Judy and Evan Ingram, and I would get Austin Eckler and K. Dotton.
He's like, hey, here's some bullshit that Dylan gave me, and I would love to give you bullshit.
Uh, I'm losing this week. I'm gonna go on to the next game. We got the two worst teams in the league, in my opinion, Holden and Kyle going up against each other. Holden's got Gibbs and Dobbins on bye. Um,
Oh my god.
it's supposed to
Like
be really close. Optimum 116 to 115.
this is a Kyle dub. Kyle should I mean he's gotta get Richardson out. Gotta put old Bozy Nix in there because I just don't know if Richardson's actually gonna start. But dude, like oh my gosh, can he's gonna have to drop some quarterbacks. He can't field a team right now. No, he's got to play Miles Sanders and Adonai Mitchell. He
Yeah,
he
yeah,
literally has the
yeah, yeah. You know, I as it is now, I think Kyle actually gets this W. And
bless oh bless up for Kyle.
yeah,
He
yeah, it's actually a good week there that he's got himself can finagle himself a win. Next game, Human versus the Magic Skull Bus. Projected difference by Dylan's Optima is actually at
can't
124.
believe he's in a place where he's starting Carson Steele and Tyler Lockett.
Yeah, this is not looking good. This is not looking good. I'm just gonna say
Oh,
it right here. Dylan's team is better. There's
oh my God! They hit in Amon St. Brown's on. Oh my God! Human's team is
yeah,
that's what he's putting up this week.
yeah.
I
This
think
this is
Dylan.
this is a rough week for him. I
I
think
didn't realize he already had Flacken. Even though there's a chance that Richardson, they would be stupid to start Richardson, but like if he does, he's gonna get old Flacco in there. Like, man, Dylan's team looks terrible this week too.
I think he can throw someone in there. He can throw someone in there. He can find someone off of the waiver wire too. Uh,
That razor's edge is going across your wrists because this team is terrible.
yeah, both of these games are bad. Like these last two games are bad. I'm gonna go on to the next one. You got Campbell Soup versus Gary. Is this the first week that Gary gets a W? He's got Jared Goff on bye, so he's gonna be forced to play Caleb Williams and Daniel Jones at QB again. On the other side, we got Goddard and Montgomery on bye.
He's going Huntley again. Hubbard's
Yeah.
there. Reek, Metcalf, Trey Tucker. Oh, dude, Kelsey and Gasicki. I don't know if you should start Gasicki, but I mean that is like a flex or something in there, so he could still flip around and do something with it. I think, dude, because I mean technically Gary should be able to beat him because Gary really only has one player on bye.
I'm gonna say this. I think this is Gary gets his first one this week. I'm calling it.
Ooh, I think it goes to 3-2, but I would not be surprised if Gary beat him.
All right, and then this is the game, the trash talk game. I know Dehas wanted to be on the pod to do this one with you guys, but Rob versus Dehas, 2-2 versus 3-1. You are
Oh,
projected on the win, bud.
absolutely love this because like this week he has to start Kareem. You know, Mason's good, Samuel's good, Collins, Dobbs. Maybe if Dobbs feasts, Wicks feasts, uh, he's starting Mike Williams.
Yeah, good luck.
Man, like yeah, because his quarterbacks are locked in, but we know I think Taylor's going to be out. Spears is on by. I mean, you can always start Roshan. AJ Brown's out. Rice is out. Laporte is out. Like, uh, if he beats me, like, it's definitely going to be like a pie in the face for me. Just
Everybody's rooting for you this week, Rob. Just letting you know.
villainous he's made himself. Like the oldest and most notorious shit talker is actually getting cheered for over the most, the newest, most villainous trash talker. This team's good. Like, dude, I'm literally catching him at the perfect moment, and it fucking
Yeah,
sucks he got Tucker Craft because Tucker Craft, I think, is a legit good fill-in. So,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
he's got a chance. I just don't he keeps saying like Mahomes, Mahomes, and I think he's going to expect Mahomes value from Mahomes when Mahomes is really like a QB 15 at this point, and it's
Mahomes
like,
is bad.
huh?
Mahomes just hasn't been bad. He's just mid, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
yeah, like, and that's the way he's kind of just going to keep rocking. What QB number is Mahomes at at this point? Like, let's see, team. Let me see if I league because it should show me
yeah,
once you get there. Mahomes is I didn't. 16. Like he is mid.
yeah,
He's in the middle of the league.
yeah.
Like
He's not even in
16.
the top 12. He's not even the starting quarterbacks for our league.
Yeah.
I
Like
think I think you may get this one. I think you may get this one. And the last game of the game, I'm gonna say this is the game of the week: Cream Pie Cupcake versus Midnight Ride. Undefeated team versus Victor's been on a roll. They both projected high scores. Uh,
ooh,
Tony Pollard is the only bye week in this game, and I think Midnight Ride's got the players
I
to
don't like
fill that in.
Eckler against Cleveland so much. I think that Washington's going to be throwing heavy, but like Eckler also returns kicks and punts
Yeah,
and stuff.
he's
Like
getting points from returning the
he's
points.
been better. He's been better than advertised. Like I remember shitting on him getting him in a trade, and he's been like in the teens every week he's played. So he's
Except
uh,
last week.
I mean, but he was out with a
With the
concussion. So,
yeah, with the caution, yeah.
like, I'm not gonna dog someone. If they're out, they're out. That's better than like having them show up and not play.
Yeah.
Like I'm not gonna dog something like that. Uh, my question is, what happens if we live in the timeline where Godwin does end up placing higher as a wide receiver than CeeDee Lamb at rest of the season?
That would be crazy. That would be crazy because CeeDee Lamb is like the only receiver on that team, right? And Godwin has to compete with Mike Evans.
Yeah.
So like if Godwin actually does like rest of season beat CeeDee Lamb,
Yeah. Absolutely. I mean, we're just talking about a man just taking his team and tearing the taint out of it.
oh,
All I gotta
my
do, I
God,
guess, is
Victor's got a lot of green on his best players. He's got
I
a lot
still,
of green on his best players. Jordan Love and Reed, Los Angeles Rams have been one of the worst teams defending the pass this year.
yeah. I think you start Lamar, but I don't know if you start Zay Flowers. Like I think they're gonna just run the absolute shit out of the Bengals this week. Like
Yeah,
they're
I
just
agree with
gonna
you.
unreal. And I think that you can start something better than Jerome Ford. Uh,
It depends if
who
Joe
that?
Mixon comes back from injury.
Yeah,
He's
Joe
still banged
Mixon.
up.
Even Javante is like kind of there. Like I get worried about like because Jerome Ford, when you look at him, his teens. You know what? I guess I'm not gonna hoodwink the man, but it's just like you feel like he should be doing so much better. And I love him because he's a Bearcat, but damn it, Jerome. Oh, one last thing before you go. Let's hit standings.
Standings? Go on to
Yeah,
standings. All right.
standings, and then just look at points against, and just look at Gary. Just
Yep.
look at Gary. Oh
Yep.
my God,
A
I'm
hundred
number
points
two,
above everybody else. Yeah.
and I've been struggling. Like I've been doing work, and poor Dylan too, but 100 points more than me. He's getting 195 averaged against him.
Dude, imagine like showing up every week and having somebody drop on 200 on you every single week. You have to score 200 every single week to win.
His points against average is higher than the points for average in the league by a large margin, by over 10 points. I almost like it's like 185, 186 is the actual points for margin out of the teams.
My God, dude. There are only two teams with optimum scoring. Let's say if they optimum scoring, only two teams score higher than his points against.
Uh, just, I have to point that out, and the man brought it on himself. Remember, he chose this life, and I want to
Yes,
let
dude.
him. Like sometimes you reap what you sow. It seemed like a cool idea on draft night.
Yeah, yeah. Is there anything else you want to say to the people, Rob?
Um, we saw the activity. I spent a lot on Dontavius Wicks, and that's mostly because we're getting to like halfway through the actual
Yeah.
fantasy season, and there's just nothing really to spend on. Like, dude,
I think
everyone,
that was a good pick. I'm surprised nobody bid higher.
yeah,
I honestly
uh,
didn't bid because I forgot to bid because I played poker until like super late at night, and then by the time I got home, I had forgotten about fantasy.
yeah, and the only reason, I did that was just mostly because I'm like, I don't even know what to spend on anymore. Everyone's one, either ahead of injuries, or two, uh, been on top of things. Like, some of the best pickups of the year that you would see in any kind of fantasy football video are already on people's rosters.
Yeah, we have
And
pretty deep benches, and we're all on top of it too.
yeah, like there's just not a whole lot of opportunity to like get any kind of startable player.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I spent up. Hi, sweetheart.
Oh, look how big she's getting! My
Hi,
goodness!
hi.
Oh my goodness! So big.
Yeah, she is getting big.
Remember when
She
I went
was
to visit you? It was
sleeping.
like,
Nice. Well, I guess that should be it.
yeah, that's it. Thank you for coming on.
All right, thank you, man. And I just want to I just want Kyle to know that we still think he's garbage, and I can't wait for him to get renamed again because Kyle's all of it. He chose his life.
I gotta get Kyle back on this pod.
Yeah, and I fully expect him to dunk on me. All right, sweetheart, that's very loud. All right, I'll turn it back on for you. All right.
All right.
Anyways, later,
Thanks,
Mrs.
Rob.
Up.
Later, FSO. Have a good one.
Bye bye.